So welcome back to the next episode of Mental Health and Substance Use in Elementary School. So today we're gonna discuss about how mental health challenges looks like in school settings. So today also we have the guest Raj. Welcome Raj.
Hello, Anupama, and thank you to again invite me in the second session of mental health and substance use.
So let's begin the interview. So my first doubt is that how do these mental health challenges typically show up in school setting?
So, thank you, Anupama, for asking this question. Actually, honestly, it's not always easy to spot right away. Mental health challenges can look like a student who suddenly stops participating, or one who becomes disruptive or easily frustrated. Some kids might cry more often or ask to visit the nurse frequently with stomach and headache. It's not always acting out, sometimes it's acting in and like withdrawing or zoning out. We really have to look beyond behaves and ask ourselves, what might this child be trying to tell me?
Oh, I got it. So can you give an example of what mental health struggle look like in a regular school day?
So, sure, Anupama. I think so. Say a student with anxiety is asked to read aloud or join a group, they might freeze, refuse, or even have a meltdown. Or a child dealing with stress at home might have trouble concentrating, forget things often, or lash out during transition. One day I had a student who would regularly hide under the table during the math time. It turned out math triggered a lot of stress because he felt he was not good at it, and these moments become cues that something deeper is going on in his mind.
Oh, that's so sad. So what role do the routines and structure play in supporting students' mental well-being?
So according to me, routines are huge. They create a sense of safety. When students know what to expect, they feel more secure, especially those who suffer with anxiety or trauma. We use visual schedule, transition warning, and consistent daily check-ins. Even just greeting students by name every morning sets a tone. The little things help build trust, stability, and that can have huge impact on child's emotional state.
Oh, that's good. So what does a mentally healthy classroom looks like to you?
It's a little bit tricky question for me. So I think mentally healthy classroom feels like that where students feel calm and respectful. It's a space where students feel like they belong, where emotions are acknowledged, not ignored. You will be hear students using language like I am feeling frustrated and I need a break, their laughter, corporations, and also moments of quiet reflection. So a mentally healthy classroom does not mean there are no challenges. It means students have the tools and support to cope with them.
Yeah, I too had the similar experience. Like when I was in my elementary school, I too made these kinds of excuses, so I knew that. So how do you build a sense of emotional safety in your classroom?
I try to be approachable, non-judgmental. I model emotional language myself, like saying I am feeling a bit overwhelmed. I am going to take a deep breath. We normalize those moments. And I also give kids choices so they feel more comfortable and control themselves. And we talk about the feelings every day, not just when someone goes wrong. That's why students know this is a safe place to be real.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be a good method. Then how do you respond when a student shows the signs of distress or emotional overwhelm?
I handle this situation very calmly. It helps me them regulate. I might say it's okay to feel upset. Let's take a moment together. Sometime I will use our classroom calm corner or take a walk with the students. It's about validating the emotion and helping them name it, not just managing the behavior. Later we might reflect on what triggered the moments and what we can try next time.
Thank you so much, Raj, for sharing your wonderful experiences and also giving this time to us. So, guys, stay tuned.